Once you have installed VirusBarrier and restarted your Mac, you can launch VirusBarrier in several ways. You can double-click the VirusBarrier icon in the Applications folder. You can choose VirusBarrier from the Intego menu item in your menu bar. And you can click the VirusBarrier icon in the dock and launch it from there. When you launch VirusBarrier, you will see the Programs window, which contains a large orb in its center. The orb gives you information about the current operation. Around the orb are 6 instruments, gauges, and displays that provide information and let you access settings, and beneath the orb is the Scan button. If you click the Scan button, VirusBarrier X5 will scan all of the hard drives on your Mac for viruses and other malware. It is recommended that you perform at least one manual scan right after you install VirusBarrier and have installed the latest updates. If VirusBarrier finds any infected files, the program will display an alert window asking you what to do. If you press the Option key, the Scan button turns into a Repair button, which means that VirusBarrier X5 will automatically repair any files it finds that contain viruses or malware without asking for your intervention. If you press the Option key during a scan, this button becomes a Pause button. You can also select specific items on your Mac to scan by clicking the Select button. A window will display where you can select hard disks, specific types of files, or where you can browse to any file or folder. When you have made your selection, click Scan. Another way to scan specific items is to simply drag and drop them into the orb. Or you can drag and drop them onto the VirusBarrier dock item. Finally, VirusBarrier also allows you to scan individual items using a contextual menu. Simply Control-click on a file or folder in the Finder and choose More, VirusBarrier X5, Scan. VirusBarrier X5 can also run scheduled scans. To set a schedule, click the arrow in the Schedule instrument. You can also go to the VirusBarrier Preferences and choose Schedule and Events. You can set a scan to run automatically when a volume is mounted and immediately after installing virus definitions updates. You can also set a schedule to scan or repair a specific file, folder, or volume at a given time on a given day. You can even add multiple events. In the upper right section of the VirusBarrier window, you will see an instrument labeled Turbo Mode. When VirusBarrier X5 scans your files, it remembers which ones it has scanned and adds their names to a database. The next time it scans your Mac, VirusBarrier X5 doesn't need to rescan all its files, but only those that have been created or changed since the last scan. However, when you install new virus definitions, VirusBarrier X5 resets the Turbo Mode database and rescans all files. This is to ensure that all files are checked against the new virus definitions. You can reset the Turbo Mode database at any time by clicking the Reset button on the Turbo Mode instrument. If you do this, VirusBarrier X5 will start from scratch the next time you run a manual scan, checking all your files. To the right of the orb, you will see a dial labeled Velocity Monitor. This dial indicates how hard VirusBarrier is working your processor or processors at any given time. One thing you may come across during a manual scan is the option to skip a file. VirusBarrier X5 can scan files contained in compressed archives, and these files can be very large. When scanning archives, the orb's display changes to show that it's working on an archive, and gives you the opportunity to skip scanning of that archive if you're sure that it's secure. Simply click Skip, and the scan will continue to the next file. The real-time scanner is the feature of VirusBarrier that scans your files in the background. The real-time scanner ensures that your Mac is protected at all times by scanning every file that is created, copied, modified, or saved. It does not, however, scan other files. This is why we suggest you run a full scan of all your files when you install VirusBarrier X5 and after each update to the program's virus definitions. The real-time scanner instrument to the bottom left of the orb shows the activity level of VirusBarrier X5's real-time scanner, as well as the number of files scanned since the last time you started up your Mac. This gives you an idea of how many files your Mac reads during a normal operation. The real-time scanner is automatically enabled after you install VirusBarrier X5. If you wish to disable it for any reason, you can do so from the Intego menu, or you can do it from the VirusBarrier X5 Preferences window. When you choose to disable the real-time scanner, you will be asked until when you would like the scanner to be disabled. You can choose until manual re-enabling, which means you must manually enable it again when you want it to be active. Or you can choose until next reboot, which means it will automatically be enabled the next time you restart your Mac. Another item in the preferences is the trusted zone. Any item you add to the trusted zone will not be scanned by the real-time scanner. This is useful for very large files, such as video or audio files, that you are working on. If you add them to the trusted zone, VirusBarrier won't have to spend time scanning these files each time you save them. By default, VirusBarrier X5 runs in interactive mode. This means that when the program detects a virus by either a real-time scan or a manual scan, it will display an alert asking you what to do with the file. The Reveal and Finder option shows you where the file is located on your drive. The Repair option repairs the infected file. The Ignore option ignores the alert, and the Put in Quarantine option puts the file in the quarantine zone. When files are quarantined, they can't be opened or read, ensuring that they cannot infect your Mac. This is useful for administrators who want to check files before running VirusBarrier X5 repair functions. If you would prefer to not be alerted and instead want files either automatically repaired or quarantined, go to the VirusBarrier X5 menu and choose Preferences. Click on the Scanner option, choose either Repair or Put in Quarantine Zone. With either of these selected, VirusBarrier will automatically apply that action to infected files. The Mode instrument to the left of the orb shows at all times which setting you have selected. If VirusBarrier adds an item to the quarantine zone, you can view it by either choosing Quarantine from the View menu or by clicking the arrow in the quarantine instrument to the lower right of the orb. In the quarantine zone, you can select any item and either delete it from your hard drive, scan it again, repair it, or consider it safe. To open VirusBarrier X5 Preferences, go to the VirusBarrier X5 menu in the menu bar. Choose Preferences. In the General Preferences, the file browser icon size determines how large icons appear when you use the Select option to browse your files. The Sounds section determines what audio you hear when certain actions occur. The Scanner Preferences allow you to disable the real-time scanner, change the mode VirusBarrier is using, add files to the trusted zone, and set other advanced options. The Logs section determines log behavior. To view VirusBarrier's logs, click the Log button at the bottom right of the VirusBarrier window. A new window will appear showing you the VirusBarrier logs. The logs show all manual and scheduled scans, as well as any infected files that may have been detected. You can control-click an infected file in the list and choose Show in Finder to see that file on your Mac. NetUpdate is the tool that keeps your Intego products up to date. To open NetUpdate, you can click Check Now from the upper right corner of the VirusBarrier window. You can open NetUpdate from the Intego menu in the menu bar, or you can launch the program from the Applications folder. By default, NetUpdate is set to check for updates every week. Be sure to always keep your Intego software up to date using the NetUpdate tool regularly.